So many of you are probably aware, but if you're not, this is the Aral Sea in Central Asia, or at least what used to be the Aral Sea. Because after decades of water mismanagement, it has almost completely dried up, and this is pretty much what it looks like today. But the weird thing is, although the Aral Sea has almost completely dried up, you go just to the south and you find this guy on the border of Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, Lake Sarygamysh. And you're like, what the hell? This lake looks like it has no problem existing. It's pretty big, full and deep and blue, definitely not drying up anytime soon. Why is Lake Sarygamysh totally fine, but the Aral Sea is drier than a Reddit convention? Well, that's because way back yeehaw in USSR times, the Soviets were like, hey, we like cotton, we need it, let's make tons of cotton. How can we do that? Oh, I know, let's take the most important ass river in all of these areas, the Amu Darya, which flows into the Aral Sea, but like, let's divert all of the water into the arid plains of Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan and make them grow all the cotton. But how will we meet state quotas? Oh yeah, that's right, we're a collectivist state. We can totally just force the non-essential workers of the Uzbeks and Turkmens, including school children and their teachers, to pick the cotton from September to early November. We'll give them like meals, but like we don't really have to pay them. It's kind of like for the greater good. But anyhow, the point I'm trying to make is that obviously all the water diversion to the cotton fields dried up the Aral Sea, which kind of sucks because the sea used to be a huge, vast body of water with a thriving fishing industry. We still have footage from the early 20th century showing how vibrant the maritime atmosphere was back in those days. Now, if you go there by the town of Moynak, you can see that it's pretty much a ship graveyard with sands and shrubs as far as the eye can see. But the thing is, all the water didn't just disappear into the cotton fields. Obviously, there was going to be some agricultural runoff water and it had to go somewhere. So what happened? Well, instead of flowing to the Aral Sea like it originally would have, instead there was a catchment that flowed into this basement between Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. That catchment was called the Glavny Daryaliski Collector, this little river thing right here. And all because of that little guy, this whole thing exists. That's right, Lake Sarygamysh didn't even exist in its current form like 100 years ago. It was all just like a flat, dry basin. After the whole cotton industry thing, this became a permanent lake. But like a lake filled with agricultural runoff and like irrigation drainage with fertilizers, chemicals, and heavy metals and saline and all that stuff. So like you probably shouldn't go swimming in this lake. Nonetheless, high salinity and agricultural runoff tolerant species of fish like carp and like catfish and perch have been introduced into these waters, and they've actually been thriving for some reason. And the thing is, like, the only way to access this lake is to go off-road because there's no towns or roads that lead directly to it because technically it keeps expanding. So like, why build if you think you're gonna get flooded eventually? Nonetheless, people sometimes still take trips out to this lake and go fishing, even though the fish might be contaminated, but still. So anyway, that's the story of the dried up sea, and then the cotton, and then the runoff water lake from that cotton. Done! Hope your life has a little bit more purpose now that you have this knowledge.